It's time to get down to business. The final stage of the inaugural Overwatch League season is here. New patch.
Here he comes, it's Reaper.
New lineups, and a new hero. We preview all 12 teams. Can anyone unseat the NYXL at the top of the league standings?
New York continue to cement their spot as the top team in the world.
The home stretch. The players tell us how they plan to qualify for the 6 season playoff spots.
If it's Junkrat meta, we're just gonna win. It's simple.
Plus, our analysts offer some suggestions for the league and its teams.
Get Effect to return from Korea for stage 4, please.
This is Watchpoint.
Welcome to MLG's Watchpoint. I'm Malik Forte, joined by Monte Cristo Doa and Mr. X. Puckett, he is in Italy enjoying some of the finest lasagna the world has to offer. So I'm back.
I'm sure Italy's back, but I'd rather spend my time with you guys.
Oh, we appreciate it.
I'd rather be on
Italy
vacation.
doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
I'd rather be on vacation personally.
He's doing some like real live testing of Rialto, and I respect that. That sounds fun. So
I see what you did there, man. I see what you did.
He's gonna take his mask off. It's Golden Boy under there.
Well, guys, we're going to get you set for the 4th and final stage of the inaugural Overwatch League season. There are still some new faces trickling in and another new map pool, and of course, patch changes. And with the patch change comes a new hero, Brigitta.
yay!
Yeah. Brigitta.
Yay.
You guys are happy. Come on, man. Let's be excited. Get hyped.
Support main, yay!
Brigitta is a powerful new support with some legit tank traits. She can heal teammates with Repair Pack, and she does knockback damage with her flail. Brigitta has a personal shield that she can also stun opponents with, and her ultimate, Raleigh, gives her a speed boost and provides her teammates with armor. Doa, how powerful is Brigitta as an offensive weapon?
She's extremely powerful as a weapon in any situation, honestly, guys. Like, Brigitta is ridiculously strong, okay? So, I mean, the dive is very difficult. The dive meta that we've seen for so long in Overwatch is probably gonna go away, because if anyone tries to dive a backline with Brigitta there, she's just gonna put her shield in your face, she's gonna stun you, like we see it done to that Tracer right there. She can take out the Tracer, she can stun the Winston or the D.Va long enough for your team to handle them. So she shuts that down really, really hard, and her ult is ridiculously strong as well.
Rally is a very strong ultimate. You obviously can use it in many different ways. I think the most effective way is probably outside of a fight, because if you use the Rally during the fight, they start chipping down on the armor. You don't get the full effects of it. A lot of the times, you're seeing it when you play competitive at home. It's like, okay, we get a full team wipe. Hey, we have 5 people here. Let's rally, and then wait for the rest of the players to come on through. I mean, you see right there, D.Va goes up to what, 700 plus HP? That's very difficult for the other team to get through.
Yeah. I know personally, because I've been using that to get back to Diamond. Not back to Diamond. It's been great. I have no shame.
Hey, that's what playing the meta is, right? That's what playing the meta is.
I agree. In Brigitta's backstory, she is Torbjorn's daughter and Reinhardt's squire, 2 characters we don't see much in the meta. Monty, which of these heroes' pick rate could we see increase with her being in the game?
I appreciate the lore knowledge, because Doa knows that
need to learn this stuff.
I need to learn this stuff,
been
I
trying
guess.
for years.
I don't think so. I think I'm just going to focus on the competitive game moving
Sad.
forward. So let's
Okay.
talk about the
Fair.
competitive aspects of Brigitta that will change not only, obviously, her introduction into the hero pool, but the other heroes that will come after her. We are going to see a lot more Zarya, of course, Reinhardt and Junkrat as a result of these changes. Also potentially Pharah, because you lack the verticality and the vertical threat, and you need long-range, significant damage to deal with Brigittas, particularly in that Rally. Also, Zarya, as people know with Torbjorn, the armor will slide right underneath the shield, so Zenyatta, Zarya, possibly Doomfist, all going to be quite strong.
Oh yeah, the meta is going to change a lot. I mean, it's like I was talking about where Brigitta kind of shuts down that dive, all these other heroes coming back because of the Rally, because of the good stuff that comes with shields and having that strong back line. We're finally going to see, I think, more triple tank. I think we're going to see a lot of 2 tanks and triple support, which is going to be cool.
I think you'll see Pharah, Mercy, and Brigitta used a lot together, because what happens is if you use Rally, the armor goes onto the Pharah. What does the other team? The other team has to run hit scan. Then they don't have enough damage to get through the shields and the other armor as well with like poke and whatnot. So it puts the other team in a really tough spot.
It's going to be pretty wild.
It is going to be wild. And, you know, I'm just happy to see Zarya again. She was one of the least played heroes in Stage 3. But, Mr. X, which individual player could break out if Zarya becomes a part of the meta?
I would love to see Zumba play Zarya again. I think, in all of Overwatch, working in multiple events, I think like the World Cup play when he boosts himself through the door on Eichenball, like that is one of the sickest plays still I think we have ever seen. His Zarya is incredible. It's a huge game changer, I think, for Seoul Dynasty's season overall if Zarya is big in the next meta.
Oh, absolutely. And even though Shanghai Dragons have not won any match yet, I think we need to look at Kaguri, right? Zarya is the hero that made her famous. She was a really good Zarya player. She was such a good Zarya player before that people didn't believe that she was actually doing what she was doing. That's how good she was as far as tracking with that beam, the move she was making. So I think this could actually be a pretty big buff for Shanghai too.
Indeed, indeed. All right, so in addition to a new hero, there are some changes to existing heroes. Reaper, my boy, gets a bit of a buff in Stage 4. His Hellfire shotguns will auto-reload after his Death Blossom, and he gets a speed boost for his Wraith form from 25% to 50%. Reaper can also cancel out of Wraith form at any time. Mr. X, will we see more Reaper in Stage 4? You better say yes.
I'm gonna say no. As long as
You're canceled.
As long as Junkrat's in play, I don't really think you're going to see much Reaper. I think the Reaper buffs do help him out. But I think if you look at that kind of niche area of just chunking down tanks fast, I think Junkrat just still fills that spot a lot better. He can do it at range, doesn't have to get close up, so you're not worried about the Brigittas in the way or the Reinhardts and whatnot. You are charging up Zarya's quite a bit with Junkrat. That could be like a downside to it, but I think Riptire versus Death Blossom, you definitely like Riptire as that ultimate.
You guys don't see it, but there's a tear coming in my eye. But anyway,
I think he's still going to be. I think he's still going to be a niche hero on some of these
Certain
maps,
points,
at certain points, certain situations, like closing out an assault map. I think that's where you're still going to see him, and he'll be better at that. So
fair. Well, Reaper isn't the only hero on the come up in Stage 4. Mei also gets a buff. Her endothermic blaster now pierces through enemies' Doa. How big of a deal could this be in the Overwatch League?
Oh, I think this could be a really big deal. I think Mei is a very underestimated hero right now. I think the ability to slow multiple people with your left click is really, really strong. You can, in a meta where there's going to be a lot of close range clashes, I think, you can just kind of spread across the team, spray across the team, get that initial slow, and that's going to, it's not going to lock them in place, but it's going to slow them enough that your team's going to have an easier time following up. I don't know for sure that we're going to see a lot of Mei. There's a lot of speculation going on today, but I think her CC is certainly incredibly strong.
Yeah, one hero we didn't actually touch on, but I think we'll see a decent amount of play. I think Doomfist could come back. I think when you combo Doomfist and Zarya and you're able to go in there, and then like Monty mentioned with the armor rally, Doomfist against tank-heavy comps can be a real devastating play.
Brigitta and Doomfist just like juggle people for infinity too. So
I'm a big fan of that notion. I would love to see more Doomfist. Every time Hydration pulls out Doomfist, I get super hyped.
It is.
Like on Soul, great Doomfist player too.
Yeah, he's one of the most like fun, I think, heroes to watch, and also goes well with a lot of combo plays. Like we have the Graviton Surge, the Space Jam with the Meteor Strike coming in on top. So he's really fun to watch.
Space
Some good
Jam.
stuff.
I love it. All right, so the map pool on Stage 4 is a greatest hit from the first 3 stages. Hybrid will now be played first with the return of King's Row, thank God, along with Blizzard World, and we'll then see Assault maps and welcome back Hanamura and Horizon Lunar Colony. The control maps will be Lijiang Tower and Oasis, and we'll finish with escort maps Watchpoint, Gibraltar, and Dorado. And the tiebreaker for Stage 4 is Nepal. Monty, what is the biggest effect of this map pool?
Well, beyond the meta changes that we're going to see, we are actually going to probably see less Widowmaker. Not only because of the meta, but because of the map pool. We're always going to see some level of Widowmaker in Overwatch League due to the high-tick servers and the fact that she's incredibly impactful when she picks somebody off. So we're never really going to escape Widow, but with closer range maps, especially with maps like King's Row re-entering the pool, the Assault maps that we have, Widow should still be used, but less than it was before.
I like watching Widow. I don't want to escape Widow. Yeah, it's a great, it's a fun hero to watch.
No one can escape from her sights, so.
That is true, yeah.
And you said you knew nothing about the lore.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a lore, that's a voice line.
Well, I mean, it's part of what she says, so it gives us a window into her personality. That's lore. Absolutely lore.
All right, and we need
Secret lore lover, Monte Cristo.
No. Anyway, we need to also talk about which teams have 100% win rates on the maps in Stage 4, because we've got some interesting ones. Obviously, Spitfire coming back in, still flawless on Gibraltar and Horizon. Soul also flawless on Horizon. Gladiators, Blizzard World, still their domain, and Excelsior, King's Row, and Hanamura. Perfect so far. So I think when you look at this map pool, London's going to be quite pleased with how things are going. And even though we're getting Oasis back in the regular control pool, they've been looking better on it recently. So I think they're not going to be as concerned about that pick.
Right. And they ended Stage 3 with some pretty big wins. So I imagine with the momentum and the new map pool, they're going to be dangerous. quite dangerous there. But anyways, guys, the transfer window closed at the start of Stage 3, but for one reason or another, there are still a handful of players who have yet to make their debut in Overwatch League. London loves to rotate their lineups. They'll have Pizzy available. The Fusion finally gets Sato back from his 30-match suspension. Boston will have another support option with Aim God. The Outlaws brought in Arhan. The Valiant have 12 on their roster now with Izayaki and Finzi. And Void has yet to appear for the Gladiators. Doa, which one of these players could have the biggest impact on their team?
You know, the one that I think intrigues me the most is actually going to be Void on the LA Gladiators. Last year, he was regarded by me and a lot of other people as probably the best diva in the world. And so I always wanted to see him play, and no one can argue that Bishu has gotten really, really good over the last 3 stages. He's an integral part of the team on that diva, but I was kind of always curious about what Void can do.
Yeah, and I think when we saw the Gladiators bring in Void, they said, we want him for the Zarya and the Roadhog. And
True.
I think when we look at Bishu, we don't really see a Zarya player, so that's where I think Void could add some value.
He was such a good diva, though.
He was. He was. And I think for me, it's going to be TZ, because I'm really interested. The former runaway tank, he's a very good main tank. Obviously paired with Gesture. I'm not sure how much starting time he's going to get. If we see more Reinhardt, we'll see which of them is going to get the nod. But even if you're looking towards the future and you're London, just putting out this guy a little bit will increase his value for potential expansion teams or other teams in the future, and then you can sell him. So that's what I would do.
And look, Gesture's
up his
basically
value.
played. I mean, Gesture's basically played every game for them up until this point. So you figure if they lock up a playoff spot, you want to give him a little bit of rest going into the playoffs at the end. I'm actually going to say Sato from the Philadelphia Fusion. I think Fraggy has been quite good for Philadelphia, but I think Sato has gotten a lot of hype, right? You know, he's one of the best main tanks on the ladder, obviously suspended for the Overwatch League right now, hasn't played. But I think if he can come in, maybe, and he makes a big difference. I know his Winston's good. It's whether he can play that Reinhardt as good at Fraggy. But I think he could be a big difference maker for this team.
Right, and this is definitely a contract stage for all the players, especially Sato, someone we have not seen yet. It's been a long 30-match wait for Sato to be able to join the Fusion on stage. Now the wait is over, and he hopes he can integrate smoothly and help his team climb up the standings in Stage 4.
필라델피아 퓨전이랑은 그 전에 다른 팀 테스트를 보고 있다가 제가 경기를 뛰지 못하고 경기를 보기만 했는데
Philadelphia Fusion, yet another Game 5, yet another win.
스테이지 1부터 스테이지 4까지, 스테이지 3까지 점점 나아지는 모습이 보기 좋았어요.
Perfect execution here from Philadelphia Fusion.
저도 뭐 딱히 꾸준히 팀이랑 계속 연습하고 그런 식으로 연습하고 있었어요. 프레기 선수한테는 라인하르트 많이 배웠죠. 프레기 선수의 투개 터프한 라인 스타일.
This is the Fraggy playground, though. This is where he gets to play the Reinhardt.
진짜 좋은 것 같아요.
They are the Forest and he is the Lumberjack.
일단 메인 탱커 2명이 되는 거에서 크게 작용한다고 생각하고요.
The tank play from Philly has carried this map.
많은 로스터를 돌릴 수 있게 돼서 저희 팀이 더 강해질 것 같아요. 제가 잘하는 캐릭터는 윈선이고요. 플레이 스타일은 상황마다 다르게 해가지고 그거에 맞춰서 하니까 윈선을 더 잘하는 것 같아요. 보면서 계속 뛰고 싶었는데 드디어 뛰게 될 수 있어서 기분 정말 좋아요.
Philadelphia's got an embarrassment of riches. It's like, you know, having an NFL team where your backup wins the Super Bowl.
새로운 스테이지 4에는 새로운 메타가 오는데 그 메타가 와도 저는 딱히 걱정 없을 것 같아요. 경쟁전에서 해봤고 저한테 잘 맞는 것 같아서 재밌게 즐길 수 있을 것 같아요.
Looking at the season standings, the Fusion hold the 6th and final playoff spot currently. NYXL and Boston have comfortable holds on the top 2 spots, but just 4 matches separate teams 3 through 8 heading into Stage 4. The race for the top 6 will be decided in the next 5 weeks. 10 regular season matches left for each of our 12 teams. Let's set up Stage 4 for all of them. It's our 22nd team previews. We'll begin with the 0-30 Shanghai Dragons. Monty, will they get that elusive first win?
I really hope they do. I've liked the addition of the new tank line and Otto, like Doa alluded to earlier. I think Geguri being able to play the Zarya again might help them. But I think it's mostly dependent on other teams, whether or not Effect returns from Korea for the Dallas Fuel here in Stage 4 and how well they can adapt to the meta. I'm not super optimistic. I think 0-40 is still a very real possibility.
All right, the Florida Mayhem got a couple more wins in Stage 3. What's next for the Florida Mayhem, Mr. X?
I think they need to figure out what they're going to do with this roster moving forward. I don't think this meta is going to be great for them. I mean, their weakness right now is their support line, and potentially you're adding even more supports into the mix, so I think that'll kind of spread them a little bit thin. I think you need to figure out what's going to go on main tank moving forward, and then with your DPS players as well.
All right, Doa, the Dallas drama continued in Stage 3. Will the fuel continue to burn in Stage 4?
You know, it kind of feels like they've burned out at this point. And I think it's like Monty said, if Effect comes back, I think maybe he can carry them to a couple match wins. If not, I think I could see these guys going 0-10, as sad as it is. I mean, OGE looked a little bit promising. Who knows what we're going to see in the meta? Obviously, this is a team that likes to experiment, and this is going to be kind of a playground for that, as we have this totally new sort of way to play the game coming in with Brigitta. But overall, I don't think things look good.
All right, now, Monty, the San Francisco Shock got 6 of their 12 wins in Stage 3.
Yes, they did, and I think they looked good doing it too. They are 6-4 coming out of stage 3, and they look better and better. Architect is integrating into this team. They're bringing in a new off tank as well. So this is a team that I think is going to continue to improve. They also have Krusty now as their new coach, so they've shook a lot of things up. Shook a lot of things up, and it'll be good.
The LA Gladiators are in 8th place. Can they continue to move up the standings, Mr. X?
I think they definitely can. I think in a meta that we're going into where Tracer is or may not be as prevalent as once before, I think that kind of eliminates one of the weaknesses that they could have had. Maybe Void comes in and plays some Zarya. Maybe Hydration can play really nice picks that he has with his Pharah and his Doomfist, and they can continue to move up the standings and make that playoff at the end of the year.
All right, the Houston Outlaws had 7 wins in Stage 1, 5 wins in Stage 2, and 4 wins in Stage 3. Can they return to Stage 1 form, Doa?
You know, I'm actually really curious about this team because I think this could actually be a great meta for the Houston Outlaws. They're a team that likes to play the defensive game. They're a team that really relies on their Junkrat, which is probably going to be pretty good in this meta. They're a team that hasn't been the biggest fans of using Tracer in the past, which now they may not need to with Brigitta shutting that down so hard. So I think overall, I think Houston's in for a pretty good stage.
All right, halfway through our 12 teams, Monty, can the Fusion hang on to a top 6 spot in Stage 4?
I actually don't think they can, Malik. I think that they were really showing signs of wear throughout Stage 3, coming off that Stage 2 finals high. And even though it's a great meta to be fraggy on that Reinhardt, I do have a lot of questions about EQO's decline in performance. What is Carpe going to play in this meta? So I think they're on their way down.
All right, the Valiant made their first stage playoffs in Stage 3. Mr. X, where do they go from here?
I think they're in an interesting spot. I think their tanks are very good. I think their supports are great as well. But I go like Monty to their DPS. What are they going to play? Agility is primarily plays Genji a lot of the time. We know he can play some Roadhog and some Pharah. But what do you do with Bunny and Soon? Both players play a ton of Tracer. Soon plays Widowmaker when they play. And after that goes to McCree. Probably not going to be an optimal pick here in this stage. I'm interested to see what they do.
All right, the Seoul Dynasty looked pretty shaky for most of Stage 3, but they remain in 4th place for now, Doa, right?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with Seoul Dynasty. We really have no idea what to expect from these guys because they've just moved Jaehong over to tank. You know, who knows what they've got going on with Zumba, right? This could be a meta that, you know, either they are totally unprepared for or they've been planning a long time for. We really just don't know which one it is. I think in a meta that's moving towards a bit more triple support, perhaps, and Jaehong moves to tank, it's going to get crazy, so I really have no idea.
All right, the London Spitfire have won 4 of their last 5 matches. Is this team for real right now, Monty? Do they have the momentum?
Yes, they do. They're undefeated on a quarter of this map pool, so 25% is 100% for them. They're going to be coming in with a lot of depth on their roster, and if Birdring gets back into form, his wrist starts feeling better, they are going to be an extremely dangerous team. Also, we have to remember Prophet is a great Zarya player, so I'm really liking London in this stage.
The Uprising haven't lost a regular season match since March 9th, and they sit in 2nd place, Mr. X.
Yeah, I still think they're going to continue to be strong. I think you do worry a little bit about their DPS's hero pool. You know, we haven't seen a Pharah from either of these players. We know Striker has a very good Junkrat. Who would play Doomfist, if argument's sake? He's a pick that could be popular in the meta. I think, though, they will be a team that figures it out. They have a very strong core. They use their ultimates wisely. I think they'll be fine.
All right, the mighty NYXL have a 41-map lead on Boston and need just 1 match win to secure a season playoff spot, though.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, they're NYXL, right? They're the best team in the league, no doubt about that. This meta may test them because they're not going to be relying on Sabiel B's Tracer as much as possible. But I think with the way this team is, with how individually skilled all these guys are, they should be able to adapt. They should be able to make it to their 4th stage finals. I got the number right that time.
All right, well, the stage playoffs have been amazing so far. But if you think that's exciting, imagine how insane the season playoffs will be in July as the teams prepare for the final stage. We chatted with some of the contenders about their plans for playoff glory.
Guys, it is playoff time, and we are that much closer to putting the pieces to our playoff puzzle together.
And the question is, can they secure their playoff spot?
We came to the conclusion after stage 1 that we were going to take all our attention to focus on the seasonal playoffs, because at the end of the day, that's everyone's goal.
Stage playoffs is nice, but at the end of the day, you're really just playing for pride and money.
어차피 모든 팀들 아니면 선수들이 다 똑같이 플레이오프를 원할 텐데.
Nice shots there from Jaehong.
그래도 저희 팀이나 저한테는 좀 더 꼭 가야 되지 않으면 안 된다 이런 느낌이 강해서.
Oh, the stick on the Blue Ocean and he gets murdering. Are you kidding me? Houston Outlaws take down the London Spitfire.
The Houston Gladiators are the ones that will be trying to prepare for the most going into next stage because, yeah, that's really going to make or break who makes the playoffs.
I'm hoping that Brigitta stays in the meta, because if that happens, Tracer is not going to be played. And I don't want to say that, we don't like Tracer, but I don't think anyone wants to play Tracer on our team, to be honest.
We just need to make sure when we go into our matches that we're ready mechanically and mentally so that we have the upper advantage.
저희가 휴스턴과 글래디에이터즈한테 상대 전적이 매우 안 좋은데 이번에는 이겨드리겠습니다. 기대하세요.
Houston Gladiators in big trouble here.
I think stage 4, the map pool, is actually the biggest advantage for us. We have Dorado, Lijiang Tower, we have Lunar Colony, King's Row. This is god tier meta for us. Plus Brigitta's coming in. I'm super excited for stage 4.
Stage 1 all over again, baby.
Seriously.
Yeah, it really
Jump
is.
Oh, that is dirty right there.
영웅이 바뀌거나 새로운 또 영웅이 나왔을 때 선수가 좀 많은 점을 살려서.
We definitely know how to play tanks, and we've been practicing Brigitte. But I think the new meta will definitely be a reset for every team.
브리기테의 유저가 없더라도 정크레 잘하고 둠피 잘하는 선수들도 있고 위도우도 잘하는 선수 있고 해서 저희한테 돈 좋은 느낌? 좀
Fleta gets the job done.
We're in the middle of the pack, and stage 4 is only looking to go up for us. So it is sitting right there in front of us, and we just have to take it really.
서울 팀이 한국 팀 중에 하나이기도 하고 e스포츠 강국이잖아요, 한국이. 그래서인지 저희한테도 우승하는 게 더 뜻깊을 것 같고.
한국에도 좋고.
And Seoul Dynasty somehow, some way, they get the win.
이번 시즌에 저희가 우승하게 된다면은 제가 여태 했던 노력들과 커리어들이 헛되지 않을 것 같아요.
Clean win in the end for London.
The struggles that LA Valiant has went through as a whole, and coming out on top of it would be huge for all of us as players and as an organization.
Valiant cruising to a victory.
To win against the best players in the world and the best teams in the world, it would be literally the best thing that has probably ever happened in my life.
Houston Outlaws, they will win this match.
초대 우승이라는 게 정말 크다고 생각하거든요. 그거를 다 목표로 하고 있을 거고 거기에서 저희가 진짜 그 목표를 이룬다면 너무 좋을 것 같아요. 다들 아마.
We talk so much about the stage playoff stakes, but there is some serious cash up for grabs in the postseason. First place in the final season standings gets $300,000. Second place gets $200K, and it goes down from there. But all 12 teams get some dough. And looking at the season playoff prize pool, you see the world champ will get $1 million. $400,000 goes to the runner-up as well. So the biggest prizes will be saved for the end of the season. As we head into stage 4, we wanted to break out our match Watchpoint suggestion box and offer some helpful suggestions for various teams and people involved in Overwatch League. Mr. X, would you mind starting us off?
Yeah, I got a suggestion here for Seoul Dynasty, and that's they should play Jaehong at main tank for the remainder of their season. I think he gives them the best option moving forward to win. It's crazy to even think you'd be saying
Makes me sad to hear that.
But I think, he gave them a great play style there towards the end of Stage 3. He was very aggressive, gave up his life a lot. I think the one worry you have with him moving forward is can he play Reinhardt at a high level when Reinhardt comes into play? But I still think just a dedicated play style, somebody who's willing to give their life, that's the way they should go. That's going to be
a bit bittersweet.
It hurts me.
Love seeing him play.
It hurts me, but I can't disagree.
It's okay. They can sign a new main tank and go back to support during the season, though. That's fine.
Yeah, well, okay. So my first suggestion is for the Shanghai Dragons, or really for any team in the Overwatch League, but recruit more Chinese players. There's so many good players in China that we have not yet seen in Overwatch League. What about Eileen? What about Shy? Where are these guys? So really, bring them in. And then you'll have a better team, which will be nice. And, you know, I feel like the Chinese Overwatch scene needs better representation. There you go. That's my suggestion.
All right, good one.
I like your suggestion.
I like that.
That's a good one. There you go. That's a good one.
Okay, so my suggestion, I suggest the Dallas Fuel get Effect to return from Korea for Stage 4, please. Effect, please come back. And you might be thinking, hey, well, we just said this whole show, we're not going to have a lot less Tracer. Guess what Effect can play? Zarya at a very high level.
Yeah, wow.
So I think that we need to see Effect back. If nothing else, because who else are you keeping from this roster? You need to see who gels with Effect on this team to see who you're even keeping for next year. So please, I miss you, Effect. I miss you.
I have another one here.
Let me get the box.
Okay, bring it back by me.
There you go.
This one is for Big Goose. I think Big Goose could use a little bit of a trim. I think, you know, I love the Big Goose hairstyle.
Shear the goose.
Just get a little bit chopped
What's
up.
the goose? Never.
Just get a little bit chopped up.
Style
Going to Stage 4, going to the playoffs looking good. Get that nice haircut. That's what I'm saying, Big Goose.
I think it's a bit worrying that Monty thinks that you shear geese.
Well, you shear, yeah, but his head looks more like
geese.
wool than.
Wait,
I don't know what
We'll
they
teach
do.
you about farm animals later, don't worry.
Are you saying they lost to Boston because of his hair?
No, no.
Oh, okay. Just double
You
check.
never know. There's lots of effects that go into it. So for Florida, I've got a suggestion for you guys. Sub swooshin for walk-ins.
Yo.
This guy is the king of walk-ins. I know Awesome Guy's been working out really well in main tank, but look at this. Look at this. At least bring him out to engage with the fans.
Bring him back.
Bring that hype. Look at that guy. I mean, you can't equate what's done in the game with what he brings to the outside of the game for Florida Mayhem.
He commits.
That's right. So sub swooshin, at least for the walk-ins. I hope we get to see him a little bit in the games too, but bring him in for the walk-ins. That's my suggestion. Let's tap that in.
All right, I have a suggestion for a fellow caster Uber. Thank you. Please,
Welcome.
please shave, fam. That's right, shave, fam. I use the F word. Never say fam. What is this? He rolls up with no shaving, and he doesn't even have like a nice beard. It's really patchy. If you can't grow a beard, I can't grow a beard either, Uber. So you know what I do? I keep myself.
And I have the
nice by
roguish
shaving.
look, right?
I have to look at you, Uber. Matt has to look at you.
And I have the best
constantly.
beard on the planet. So
Yeah, exactly. He's probably just has
sturdy.
beard envy, okay? So please, please, Uber, shave.
I'm all for the fuzz, man. I like Uber's fuzz. All right, anyways, I have a suggestion, and it's for Big Boss Pine. I suggest that he not walk around on confetti-covered stages in socks. What was up with that yesterday? I know. Look at this. Look at this. Look, I know, being a pro gamer, you know, having a comfortable setting is really important. But like, come on, man. He could have put some shoes on before he walked out.
He could have got hurt.
Yeah, you don't want to be on injured reserve, you know, before the playoffs. Come on, dude. So yeah, that would be my suggestion. Let me throw that one up in the box.
I think that's a really important one. We
Deliver
don't
this
lose
to
Big
Punk.
Boss before playoffs.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
sad.
that does it for MLG's Watchpoint. Check out Stage 4 beginning Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on OverwatchLeague.com and Overwatch League app. And thank you guys for watching.